on, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nick Bartel, editor-in-chief for Techno Warriors TV, and welcome to another Out of This World audio interview. Now, as you know, we cover the latest in technology and pop culture, including paranormal and extraterrestrial stuff. So this means things that go bump in the night, or things that are out of this world, or someone needs to phone home. Now, I am here with a really special guest. Now, due to the guest's privacy, he has requested that I call him, or we call him, hysterical. So, he has had some crazy stuff happen to him. He has had several alien abductions and various other UFO sightings. So you're in for a real treat tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So this is an audio interview, so get the coffee going, get a beverage of your choice, or order up some Ari coffee, teas, and bobas. That's right, 300 types of coffee, teas, and bobas from around the world, and you can check them out in the link in the description below. Also, a big shout out to the Synthesis Discord server for being amazing and having me included in their community. It's a real awesome community. We'll put a link to the Discord server down below where you can come talk about, like, conspiracy theories of UFO, aliens, paranormal, occult stuff. I mean, anything that's weird or phenomenon, check Synthesis out. So, without further ado, it is time to get started. I'm gonna shut my trap and introduce you to Hysterical.
Hello, my name is Hysterical, and I've been living in Hawaii for my whole life, basically, and most of my experiences have happened in the last, I'd say, 3 to 4 years, roughly. So yeah.
So let's tell us how you got started in, like, the extraterrestrial, like UFO, alien type of stuff.
So I've always been open to this stuff. I mean, my parents have, well, maybe not my dad, but my mom has had experiences in her home country. She's not from the U.S., so she's from the Caribbean, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, South Caribbean. And she's seen some weird stuff, so I've always been open to it on my island here in Hawaii, but just have never seen it. I've always been looking for it, and only in the past couple of years has this stuff been contacting me, I guess, or showing its face to me.
So also, before I continue, I want to give a big shout out to the Mutual UFO Network once again for their amazing work they do. Big shout out to you guys and the whole MUFON community. So, here's something really cool, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready to go out of this world, because he's going to tell us about his alien abductions, and then after that, he will tell us about the various UFO sightings after this. Now, one of his abductions is really cool. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, so let's listen in.
So, these experiences have been happening to me since I left for college. And back in 2017, when I graduated, I went off to college to New Mexico, and I stayed in Albuquerque for about a year and a half. And in that time, I had these crazy experiences. Not only me getting flung out of my time zone from Hawaii to the Midwest, but there was just some weird stuff out there, and I could feel it, but I never saw any of it until I went to sleep, so to say.
So what happened? What happened is you had a missing time, and that's when it happened, and that's when the abductions happened. Did you see anything before you were abducted?
There was a couple people on my campus that I was sure they weren't people because they would show up at the weirdest times. And I'm a night owl, so I stay up in the middle of the night and that kind of thing and walk around the town and they would just show up
Mm-hmm.
randomly. I could never figure out if they were telling the truth or not. They every time I'd ask them a question about where they came from, they wouldn't give me a solid answer, stuff like that. And I guess between all of that and what was happening in my dorm, I had some of these dreams where I'd be taken away. I would wake up on a craft or something. I get like the first time. I'm sure I've had a couple experiences that I just cannot remember, but I do remember a couple of these.
Mm-hmm.
And
And these
the
were.
first one, the first one hit me really, really hard. I woke up in the morning. I couldn't believe if I had where I was, where I went, if I had actually dreamed of what I dreamt,
Mm-hmm.
if it was real or not.
Because
And
go ahead.
yeah, well, over the course of a couple months, I began to figure out that this stuff is actually real. First one, I remember I was having a normal dream, lucid dream.
Mm-hmm. Because a lot of alien
Um,
abductions will seem like lucid dreams, and then you'll have missing times. Missing time is a primary sign of an alien abduction.
yeah, it was. I woke up at the weirdest time. I didn't know how long I was out for. Uh, it was just like you said. I was having a normal dream. We were out in the desert because I was in New Mexico, and I was at an air base apparently.
Okay?
And in the middle of me walking around the air base, a dust devil started to appear. And in the middle of the dust devil were two, I guess, beings dressed in white robes. That's all I can remember. I couldn't see their face, what their skin color was, what they even looked like. They were shrouded. And one of them, the male, it was a male and female, I knew that. And the male reached out his hand and he said, "Come with me. You are going to die if you don't switch bodies with me
Oh
right
boy!
now."
Oh! Did you hear
And
that,
I
guys?
said, I think I should listen to this. And so I did. I said, yeah, sure. And in an instant, like a flash, just like you blinking your eyes, I was transported to this other. It was a craft. I knew it.
Mm-hmm. What did it
The
look like?
best thing I could say is like you were in the middle of a big whale, like you were in the body of a whale. The room was round. I remember there were windows on the left, a chime made out of like all I could say was like different pieces of coral. Everything was oddly ocean themed. Um, I could not see what was towards the right of me when I got there. There was kind of like a wall. I knew that there were like something. There was something important there, but I couldn't go there. We were like in the living room of whatever we were in, and this lady comes up from I guess a girl comes up from the bottom of the ship we were in. So these spiral stairs are in the middle. She's walking up the stairs, and I see her, and she runs up to me like she knows me, and she's very excited to see me, but I'm whatever I was not myself. I could tell that I've never seen that person in my life. She was blue. She had no hair.
Okay?
It, when I saw her, I thought I was just in a normal dream. I never experienced any of this stuff before. It was oddly real.
So, what
And
did
when I
this
saw hers, oh, sorry, go ahead.
what did this craft look like from the outside? Was it like a flying saucer, or was it egg shaped? What did it look like from the outside?
From I couldn't see from the outside. I was only on the inside of the ship, but from the windows I could tell the room was saucer shaped, but the craft we were in was not. We were underwater.
So you got transported in a USO, an unidentified submerged object.
That's all I could tell. I could see fish swimming, a city under the water. I could not believe what I was seeing. I looked down at my hands. My hands were blue. My fingers were blue.
So this is
And
some pretty serious stuff that happened.
I cannot remember what she told me, but I just, she wasn't opening her mouth to talk.
She was
So
using using telekinesis or
telepathy, yeah.
telepathy.
And in the middle of this experience, I get excited and I get excited because I don't know what came over me or what happened, but something clicked in my mind that the ship was telepathic itself.
Wow.
And I asked the ship, I was like, oh my God, are you a whale? Like, are we in the middle of a whale? And it said something back to me. And I said, you know what, wait, I know exactly what to do. And I said, play some music. But what I heard was, it was something else. It was like, I'm still trying to think of it. It was like, it was a feeling, like the music was a feeling, not even sound itself. Like whatever I heard produced another sense other than just sound.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever music they had there wasn't like ours. I don't know why it it baffles me because I'm a musician, and up until that time I had never heard anything in my dreams. I'd remember people's faces. I'd remember what was happening in the dreams,
But these
but
were
I could
dreams.
not hear sound.
Mm-hmm. But these were actual abductions. Because with
Ye-
abductions, you have missing time. You don't remember where you were.
Yeah, and as soon as I asked the ship or whatever we were in to play music, um, that the dude came back,
These
and he was
beings.
in my body.
Oh wow! So he
I
kind of
saw
like possessed
myself come
you.
back to me and said, "Here, we gotta bring you back." So
Did it?
it,
What did the
oof,
being look like? Did it look like was it a reptilian type, a
it
humanoid
it
type, an exo
we
type?
looked like we looked like we switched bodies. I was blue.
Okay.
That's all I remember. My hands were blue. The being had from what I could not see my own head, but from the lady's head that I saw, she had little to no hair. And if she did have hair, I don't remember her having any hair. It
Wow. So what did this city look like when you were transported in this USO? And for anybody that doesn't know what a USO is, it's unidentified submerged object. Because you have UFOs. USOs are unidentified submerged objects. Now let's talk about your second abduction.
My second abduction happened kind of in the same way, and I do distinctly remember grays, and they 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 weren't probing me or anything. They weren't. Um, it's like I went there to learn something.
Tell me what
really.
happened with this second abduction. Like what happened before, during, and after. What everything looked like. What the craft.
The craft was spherical.
Okay.
I was inside. They have what I could see was a big floor with with round panels like around the edge of the floor, and in the middle was a spire or I guess a something. There was a like structural thing in the middle, and I woke up on the side of this structural thing. They woke me up,
Oh
and
wow.
they said, "Oh, we're done here, but we want to teach you how to fly this thing eventually."
So wait, hold on. Are you hearing me correct? They were going to teach you how to fly the UFO.
From what I heard, yes.
Whoa, that is insane. That is insane. Um, Now, like spherical, was it a flying saucer? Was it like a circle, or like what did it look like from the outside?
I could not see from the outside. I was only on the inside of the ship wherever we were.
But from what it
Um,
looked like, it was like like was it like what type of shape was it?
from the inside, I thought it was round,
Mm-hmm.
saucer shaped.
So
The other one, I could tell that it just was not shaped the same way, even though the floor, like the interior of it looked like it could have been round. It was not. There was something else going on.
now, from your
Um,
second sighting, how many grays were there, or like how big were they, or like
there were three of them that I could see, maybe four of them.
okay,
Uh, they were they weren't even that. The thing is that the ships that they were flying or piloting uh, didn't look like they were built for grays, really.
mm-hmm,
They were barely tall enough to reach over the panels that they were working on.
wow,
And they looked more, it was more suit to my size, actually.
to a human size.
Yeah.
That is really crazy. Now, did they do any like you said they didn't do any experimenting on you, but they did.
They could have. They
Mm-hmm.
could have taken my DNA.
Did they
Um,
implant anything into you? Did you?
no, I
Okay.
don't think so.
Um, but they could have taken a sample from you.
Yeah.
What did they tell you when they wanted to when you were flying? What knowledge did they give you?
Um, they just said, remember this.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this, remember it. That's it.
Okay.
That's they said eventually you'll fly this. They said eventually you will fly this. And I just looked at them. I said, wow, maybe, but I don't even know where this is.
Uh huh.
And after that, I woke up.
Oh wow.
I was in shock. In the middle of the night, just like, oh God, where did I go again? And I guess the only thing I could say it is because
Can you tell me what happened with that one?
I was in the hospital for a while and laying in the hospital bed, one night I fell asleep and I just woke up in the middle of this like alleyway with a bunch of humans looking at me like, how did you get here? What?
Mm-hmm. So these were a
From what I saw, they could have been reptilian, they could have been human or
or
shapeshifted.
or humanoids.
Yeah, but they were not, I knew they were not human. Some of them had pointy ears,
Mm-hmm.
at least one of them. The other ones I could not tell.
How many were
There was
there
something
in this
about them.
craft?
There were four or five,
Oh wow.
and there was six rooms.
Tell me a little about this. Like what the inside looked, what And of course, you didn't see the craft on the outside,
No.
but what did it look like? Did it look more
It was octagonal,
okay?
and there were rooms on the outsides of the octagon, and I was in the middle, and they were playing like a form of dodgeball
Mm-hmm.
with one ball,
Wow.
and uh, it was odd. I still haven't put that one together, really. It happened. I just don't know
So you're
if
still
it
trying
was
to.
real or not.
More than likely, it
I'm
was.
still trying to process that
Yeah,
one. I don't
because
know.
abductions can be very shocking, traumatic, um, and um, it's
I wish I could say that I went to sleep and woke up in the middle of the yard, but they don't happen that way.
yeah.
Sometimes I'll feel like I've been taken from my bed. I won't remember any of it, but I'll remember right before I wake up, and I'll feel like I'm not quite over my bed. I'm like 2 feet away, like floating,
So you're
and
levitating.
when I fall into my bed,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing crazy like that.
Do
No
you?
apparitions or anything.
Mm-hmm. So when you were basically returned, um,
Hmm.
in this craft, did you see just the humanoids? Did you see any except insectoids, like insect type
No
aliens, or
insectoids.
but these were?
Um,
Did you ever see a reptilian?
I have, but they were never in a ship.
So this last abduction, okay, what happened during
Hmm.
that?
Um,
So they take you in the
it's same thing as all the other ones, all the grays and whatever blue people I saw.
hmm
Um,
So if you guys know
they,
what that
they were
was,
just they weren't trying to they weren't they were testing me on something,
okay,
and they weren't trying to teach me anything. They were just like testing my reflexes, I guess. One had like a like a sheet and was checking things off, and the other one was throwing a dodgeball at me. So
so they were testing your reef. So basically, um, they were examining you. Take you to like any planets or anything. Uh,
nope. From what I could tell is that um,
do you just do you
I
remember?
just show up, and I don't know if we go anywhere. I can't really tell if we're moving at all.
Mm-hmm. But you
Um,
didn't. Did the crafts have any windows? Except for the
no,
USO, that one had windows.
the
You said.
USO had windows. The other ones didn't.
Okay. All right, guys. Now it's time to talk about the encounters, the alien
Yeah, this
encounters, and it's a doozy, guys. Listen in.
now this is a little more interesting to me because this happens not in the middle of the night or anything. Sometimes they happen in the middle of the day, which really scares me. But my first experience happens after I came back from college. I'd stay up in the middle of the night looking at the stars or whatever. And one night I see up. So on my island, I live like kind of in a valley.
Mm-hmm.
There's mountain ranges on both sides. And I look towards my left, um, the left mountain range, and all I see are these orange orbs. Um, I don't know what they were. Uh, there was three of them. They looked like they were kind of following the tree line up the mountain and circling around this observatory we have up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just couldn't believe what I saw. I thought someone was shooting flares, but no, they were not. They weren't moving like flares. They were going up the mountain.
Okay.
Um, just some weird stuff. And it's so funny because at that particular moment, I had decided to grab a chair and stand up on it just out of nowhere. I put my phone down, left my phone inside, and I just went outside, put a chair down on my porch, and I stood up and saw this craft.
Like, so you saw these ships.
Yes, it just gave me a really weird feeling
So these
that
ships,
they're here now.
did you see anything come out of these ships?
Nope, they were just following the tree line up the mountain. That's one experience.
Mm-hmm.
The next one happens a couple months ago, and I'm sure that, well, not a couple months ago, maybe no, about a couple months ago actually. So my mom had a friend over, or two friends over. We were sitting on our back porch again, and my mom is situated. She's facing the east. Her friend, he's facing the west, and our other friend, she's facing like the south. And we're all sitting around this table, and I'm sitting down on my porch outside.
Okay.
And I'm a so I do crystal healing, right? So I always have a bunch of crystals around me, and sometimes I show them to my mom's friends that come over and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave him a particular piece to meditate with, and he was sitting there for maybe 5 minutes with it in his hand, and towards the sunset in the west, I see a ship. It's the biggest thing I've ever seen. It was like,
And this is the UFO sightings. So tell us about the ship.
it was ribbed.
Okay.
It had like sections to it. Like, if, like, I don't know, it was just like sheets of like ribbon put together.
Okay.
And it looked like if you ever seen the Star Trek logo, and you just flipped it on its side, that's what I saw.
Oh, that is crazy. That's out of this world. Now, did it
It
look,
was
how
I
big
saw it
was
for
it?
3 seconds. It was it took up a pretty big portion of the sky. It was like an aircraft carrier in the sky. It was did not look as big as a plane. It looked bigger than that. I saw it for maybe 5 seconds.
Oh, wow. That is
I
nuts.
saw it. I looked to my left, inside, to my friend meditating on this crystal. He looked at it, and he looked back at me, and I looked back, and it turned into a little cloud.
So
Cloud you
it
could
cloaked.
see in the sky. It cloaked, and I had turned around to grab my phone. And when I looked back, it went away.
So you and your friend witnessed. It was you and your friend that witnessed this happen.
Yep. 2 witnesses.
2 witnesses. What were the other side? Like, you told me about a.
There's other sightings too.
Okay.
So I've been having lucid dreams of these things sometimes. It's really weird because I'll have a lucid dream.
But these are different than the abductions you had, the 3 abductions you had.
Yeah, no. I'll wake up like it's a normal day. I'll get up, I'll get ready, I'll go outside, and as soon as I step outside, I'll see a big ship in the distance, like on the horizon. It'll take up like the whole. Oh man. It just looks. It doesn't look streamlined at all. It looks like a bunch of junk put together. Like, and big.
Big, like aircraft carrier big, like airport big. I mean, like, how big was this craft?
My island is only 15 miles long, so thinking that it's more than 15 miles.
It covered the whole island.
Basically, and then I'd wake up again.
Wow.
I'd go outside. I guess I'll be in a, I don't know, but I'll wake up. I'll do the exact same thing. I'll go outside, and instead of a ship, there's a cloud, and it's the only cloud there, and it looks like what I saw in my dream.
Do you think it might have abducted you?
No, because I woke up in my house.
Okay.
Right. So I would get up, I'd go outside, and the first thing I see is this thing, and then I wake up again.
Oh, wow.
Like it put me back.
That's
I don't know what to say about it, because
that kind
then
of
I'd start seeing different ships, different clouds in the shape of saucers and things.
so flying saucers.
After I had that dream or experience, I don't really know what it was.
You might have had an abduction.
That was, well, here's the thing, I didn't go anywhere.
It was more like an encounter.
Yeah, it was more like an encounter. Other times I would see clouds that would have the outline of triangles of different shapes that I would see. And oh man, they're weird. One time I saw a cloud in the shape of it was a triangle-ish craft.
Mm-hmm.
And it would block out the sun a little bit. So it would cast a shadow, and the shadow would be weird.
Do any of these craft make any noises? Like the ones you saw?
No.
It would be dead silent.
I remember that craft, I went outside, and because I had a big piece of crystal with me, and I pointed at it and I said, "You get the hell away from me."
Mm-hmm.
I imagined, like, I don't know, like power coming from the end of the tip of the crystal, and the cloud just, it looked like a cloud had exploded.
Now,
and a whole bunch of other clouds came out of like the edge of my vision and just swarmed the area. It was so weird. Everything was.
Tell me about these.
Every time I think about it, I don't know if it actually happened or if I was going nuts.
And you weren't under the influence of anything.
No.
So
I didn't know what to do. I just like grabbed the crystal and went outside. I said, since I called the.
You actually tried communicating with it.
Yeah, since my other experience with my friend holding the crystal, I figured that you can kind of communicate with them using them. So I said, if it works one way, it works the other way. I can talk to them if I want to, or I guess explode them, maybe. I don't know.
So
it's just so weird.
What were the other? So, what were the other sightings you had? Did you have any besides the abductions? Have you ever had an encounter of an alien?
I went out in the middle of the night again, just to walk around my town, and I was going to do some weird stuff. Like, I didn't really like my school at the time, and I had a cap on, a red cap from my school in New Mexico, and in the middle of me walking, I stop to check my phone, sit down, and I just think, I take my hat off, and I'm like, I hate this thing. I hate my school.
Mm-hmm.
And I just chucked it into the bushes, not thinking of anything. I go back to my phone. And the way I got up, I was kind of awoken, I guess, and I just ran outside thinking I would see something again, and I just decided to walk. Well, this time I saw from the corner of my eye, I'm checking my phone, someone walks by with a red cap on.
Oh, wow.
And I turn to look at them. They looked half human. That's all I could say. They were very clothed up. They had a lot of clothes on, protecting their head and their neck. And as I'm watching them walk down the street, like the sidewalk, they turn I turn to look at them, and at that moment they turn to look at me, and they're wearing my hat. I almost get the courage to say something
Saying, hey, that's my hat.
like, yeah, like what are you doing? I just go back to checking my phone. I look back up, and they're gone. Don't see them crossing the street, don't see them walking down the end of the street, just don't see them at all. And my hat is gone.
Now, can I ask you something? Um, are you able to disclose where you're from? Like,
Where I'm from?
yeah, like where are you from? Like
Oh, I'm
in Hawaii.
I'm on the island of of Oahu.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Now, and one thing I do want to talk about for a second, okay? You're familiar with Kauai, and you know Hawaii has those volcanoes, right?
mm-hmm.
Do you think that UFO sightings are pretty prevalent with volcanoes?
Yeah, I'm sure. Um
Like, have you ever visited the volcanoes over there?
yeah, I have. They have some weird stories out here about aliens and volcanoes. They say that some of them are actually buried here on one of the mountains. Like some are buried here
So, you ever heard of
somewhere.
Yellowstone?
Yeah.
When so Yellowstone is a super volcano, okay? Long Valley is a super volcano. Yellowstone's in Montana, Wyoming, and I like Idaho. Um, if or Long Valley caldera in eastern California, one of those goes off. The best way to tell if that thing's going to erupt, you're going to see a lot of UFO sightings. What do you think about that?
Um, it's plausible. I mean, some
Because
of those spots are UFO hotspots, anyways.
mm-hmm.
So if something's happening, I'm sure that they want to be around to
Yeah,
see it.
or they want to protect, they want to make sure it doesn't happen. The best way you'll
Who
tell,
knows?
yeah, the best way you'll tell Yellowstone's gonna erupt is when you go down to Yellowstone and you see ton of flying saucers. Do you have any other UFO sightings or alien sightings?
No, but I'm sure my sister has seen some stuff.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to add?
Um, I mean, nah, not really.
It is about time to wrap this up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this audio interview of the abductions and UFO sightings of Hysterical. Please note the reason why we're calling him Hysterical is due to privacy reasons, he does not want to reveal his full name. Big shout out to MUFON for their awesome support and the cool things they do. And a big shout out to our sponsor, Irie Coffee Teas and Bobas, located in West Jordan, Utah. Also, a big shout out to the Discord server Syphysis for all things spooky, weird, abnormal. They're a cool server to check out. Now, and a big shout out to Hysterical for being on the show today. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. You dislike this video, hit that dislike button. But if you adored this video, all you have to do is strangle that subscribe button, slap it in the face, and pow, right in the kisser. Thank you guys so much for listening or watching, and have a wonderful day. Stay tuned because we have more out of this world spooky stuff coming soon.